Today we're going to be talking about smartwatch accessibility. Hey guys, it's Sam with The Blind Life. So, I'm really excited to talk about Android smartwatch accessibility because I could not find anything online about this topic. It's definitely needed. Hopefully I can answer any questions that other people are having. Now, first and foremost, I want to thank a viewer named Chris for suggesting this particular watch. I actually decided to get the Samsung Geer S3 Classic, and that was partly based on my research, but also partly based on Chris's recommendation. And I'm very happy I went with this one. Now, there are a ton of Android smartwatches out there. Motorola, LG, Samsung, Huawei. There's just a ton. Some of them are running Google's Android Wear OS. Samsung watches are running an operating system called Tizen. So that's what I'm going to be showing today. But I'm thinking the accessibility options are going to be very similar across the board for Android watches. Now I'm running the watch with the screen reader turned on, so whenever I tap on it,
it is 6 p.m.
It wakes up and tells me the time, reads it out loud. And that's great. Every time I touch it,
it is 6 p.m.
tells me the time. Now if I wanted to jump over to one of the other screens, like one of my widgets, I can use two fingers to swipe.
App shortcuts page 3 of 12. Weather page 4 of 12.
All right, go back.
App shortcuts page 3 of 12. It is 7 p.m.
If I two finger swipe down from the top, I can get into my little quick access buttons.
Quick panel.
And I can swipe up with two fingers to get back to my watch face. Or what's great about this one is it has a back button. This top button on the right here will go back. There's also a home button down here, the bottom right one, and that will take me all the way back to the watch face if I'm deep in a menu somewhere, or will also launch my apps.
Apps. Rotate bezel to navigate apps. Page 1 of 3.
Now you have very similar controls to talkback or voiceover. If I want to navigate through these apps, I can use one finger to swipe left or right.
Recent apps. Messages. Phone.
If I want to choose one of those, I just double tap on the screen, just like with talkback or voiceover. I'm going to go back though.
It is 6 p.m.
So now, depending on the size of your fingers, I've got kind of fat fingers. Sometimes it's hard to swipe two fingers on the screen. So that's why the Samsung Geer Classic or the Samsung Galaxy Watch, all the Samsung watches are great because they have this rotating bezel. So if I turn the bezel to the right,
App shortcuts page 3 of 12. Weather page 4 of 12. Contacts page 5 of 12.
it cycles through all my my options here, my widgets.
It is 9 p.m.
And I can go back. So let's go into the settings here and we'll take a look at the accessibility settings.
App shortcuts page. App shortcuts page 3 of 12. Messages, double tap. Find my phone. Settings, double tap to open. Settings. Settings. Watch faces, watch. Sound and vibration, sound. Display, bright. Advanced, do not connections, Bluetooth. Apps, app order, permission. Security, lock. Account, Samsung account. Accessibility, vision, hearing, text to speech.
So I'm just swiping to the right here to get through the menu. I could also use the bezel to really quickly scroll through this whole menu.
Accessibility. Vision. Hearing.
All right, let's go back into vision.
Vision. Vision. Vision. Voice assistant, switch checked.
Voice assistant, that's what I'm running, the screen reader. Got that turned on.
Voice assistant help. Dark screen, switch not checked.
Dark screen.
Vibration watch off.
I haven't tried this one yet, but I believe it will tell the time through vibration.
Zoom, switch checked.
Zoom, that's a magnifier. I've got that turned on. So the way you trigger that is just like on the magnifier gesture on any Android phone. You triple tap with one finger. So tap, tap, tap. And it zooms in, and then you use two fingers to move around. And you can pinch to zoom to make it bigger. Now, I'm going to zoom out here. Go back to normal. Once again, I have really big fingers, and it's hard to move around on this tiny little screen. That's the only drawback to this. Someone with smaller fingers might have better luck than me.
Vibration watch off. Zoom, switch checked. Grayscale, switch not checked.
Grayscale, you can turn that on.
Negative colors, switch not checked.
You can invert the colors if that's better for you.
Grayscale, switch. Negative colors, switch not checked. Vision.
You can choose different clocks. Very simple. All you do is double tap and hold on the clock face here. So tap, tap, and hold.
Watch faces.
And then I can use the bezel.
Facer, page 2 of 20. Urban Classic, page 3 of. Mob Nov Analog, page 4 of 29.
Search through the
to select this watch face.
Search through the watches, and then when I find one I like, I just double tap.
It is 6:16 p.m.
And now we've got a new watch face. Now there's two ways to run your watch here. You can run it with the always on display. That shows a very faint image of the watch face when the screen is asleep. That works. I find that I trigger it accidentally a lot. You know, if I cross my arms, I accidentally trigger the watch and it starts talking. I prefer to run it without the always on display. This just, when it goes to sleep, it just has a black screen, nothing shows. This also has the benefit of prolonging your battery life. And then to wake it up, very simply, you just press one of the buttons. You get a little sound effect letting you know that it's awake, and when you want to hear the time, then all you have to do is touch the screen.
It is 6:18 p.m.
Then put it back to sleep. Once again, just touch your palm to the top of the watch.
Screen turned off.
I use it this way more often because I'm not going to accidentally wake it up just by touching it. So another benefit of using the voice on your smartwatch is having instant caller ID on your wrist anytime you get a phone call. So your watch will ring and vibrate while announcing the incoming call. And that's great. You know, I know who's calling me, even if my phone is in my pocket or it's on my desk at work, and I can answer or reject the call from my watch.
Incoming call, Rachel CV.
And I can answer it by turning the bezel to the right, or I can hang up by turning the bezel to the left.
Rachel CV 5, 6:27 p.m. Call button. More options button.
So just double tapping on that notification and then swiping left or right, I can go to all the different options. I can call this person back. I've got more options. I believe I can send them a text message. I can block the number. All of this is perfectly accessible using the voice or the screen magnification. Now I know one of the questions that people are going to have right away is, will this work with an iPhone? If someone is an Apple user, can they still get one of these watches and use it? And yes, absolutely, you can. Now I will say you're not going to have all the functionality that you would if you were using an Android phone, but you can absolutely still use one of these watches with an iPhone. And in fact, all of the accessibility options are just built into the watch. Has nothing to do with what kind of phone you have. So you won't be missing out on any of those if you're an Apple user. Okay guys, so that is it. That was a quick look at the accessibility options on an Android smartwatch. In this case, the Samsung Geer S3 Classic. If you like the video, please let me know by hitting the like button. That always helps out the channel. If you have any questions about this smartwatch or anything in general, please let me know in the comments down below. I'll do my best to help out. If you want to see more of my beautiful face, be sure to hit that subscribe button and also turn on notifications so you will be alerted every time I put out a video in the future. As always, guys, this is Sam with The Blind Life. I'll see you next time.